contractors can't tell what's good, what's bad.
Answering every call, answer it fast. We are building the AI workforce for the trades.
Like, let's just call it what it is. There's going to be friction at first, right? Because everybody, welcome back to the Exit Rich podcast. I got a special guest in from New York here at headquarters here from, well, his name is Federico, first of all. And that is a suave guy, you could tell. Young, suave, from Italy, has the accent, the look. He's not part of La Costa Nostra, just so you know. He is he's the head of partnership and growth over at, I always call it Avocado so for some reason, but it's actually Avoca. And you guys are an AI platform, lead the speed. You have a human element to it. You guys are growing. It's really cool technology. I appreciate you coming in. You guys are also the title sponsor at the roofing conference this year, which we're looking forward to having you down there at Marco Island, December 3rd through 5th. Tickets are running out, so make sure you get your tickets now. Federico, why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you do real fast, and I appreciate you coming in, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Federico. As you said, I'm from Italy and I'm not from Cosa Nostra. And I lead partnerships at Avoca. We are building the AI workforce for the trades. So basically an agentic or AI employee that can help you book more jobs and follow up on those leads that are so hard to follow up with.
Okay. So first of all, how do you wind up at Avoca? Like, you're from Italy, you come to America. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Avoca, and we're going to talk about all the benefits Avoca does for home contractors.
All right, yeah, let's do it. Well, I came to the US when I was 17, wanted to learn English, and then figured that I really, really liked it, wanted to pursue that American dream, really found the opportunity here. And so I decided to stay. And I've winded up at Avoca because being here and then going back to Italy every Christmas, I always felt like I was walking back to the past. So I wanted to create the future. And I think Avoca and general artificial intelligence are the future. So that's how.
So let's talk about Avoca. Avoca's been growing, skyrocketing, right? I think you were employee number 10, 13.
Yeah.
70 plus employees now.
Yep.
Short amount of time. Tell me what Avoca actually does for the listeners. Explain it. I'd say this to everybody on the show, so I'm not being rude to you. You AI guys are just way too smart for the average person. So let's bring it down to the Lance Bachmann level. I call that the chimp level. The chimp level. Let's make it chimp proof.
Okay. Well, it's really not that complicated. In fact, basically, we will talk to a contractor and we'll try to figure out what their biggest problems are. Usually, the biggest problem is in the call center when it comes to revenue, because there are 3 steps to converting a lead to revenue, and that's acquiring the lead, converting the lead, and then fulfilling the job. And so what Avoca is trying to do is automate the first 2 steps so that the contractors can just focus on fulfilling those jobs.
All right, so tell me how it works.
So how it works is we'll first of all create an AI agent. So that's basically an employee that is just an artificial intelligence. It's code, kind of like ChatGPT, but on steroids.
Okay.
And then,
So like a Lance Light, I could call it, right?
you could call it that,
Right? CSR Lance Light, right?
Yes. Okay. Exactly. And then what we'll do is we'll train that AI to act like an employee of your business, of your brand, answer the phone 24/7, book jobs, right into Service Titan or wherever CRM you may be using. And then if leads come in from other platforms like Angie or Thumbtack or Google, we can use artificial intelligence to initiate conversations and convert those leads.
What about social media, like Facebook, Instagram, all that?
Yeah, any source is supported at this point.
Any sources you can work? Do you guys work with high level also?
Yes.
So you work with high level?
Yeah, even though I will say the high-level integration is much less sophisticated than the one we have with Service Titan, most of our customers are on Service Titan.
I'm going to say 90% of contractors that are doing a few million plus are on Service Titan.
Exactly.
I'm for the guys that are going to comment on that statement, I'm giving you a generality. Most big companies wind up going on Service Titan for what handles their needs. So the agent, instead of having a CSR, it gets smarter and smarter. So there's going to be friction at first, right? Because these guys aren't technology guys. Like, let's just call it what it is. Because, I call this, when you implement technology, it's the reverse of dating. And people are like, what do you mean? When you first go on a date, you're excited, you get dressed up, you're like, yeah, I can't wait, right? You got a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I do.
How excited? How long you been with her?
Almost a year.
Oh, congratulations. So when you first met her, you were all excited. Now you're like half the excitement.
Dude, man, we're being recorded.
Give it 15 years, you're going to be really less excited, right?
We're still excited.
But technologies, the actual opposite. Everyone pulls their hair out, they fight it, they resist it. And once you get it integrated to the business, like, how do we ever operate without this? Do you talk about that? 'Cause that has to be one of your biggest
Yeah, that is
burdens.
one of the biggest things, and it's because there's kind of an unfair expectation around technology. Like, for example, with self-driving cars, right? If those get into an accident, we cannot trust technology, cars to drive themselves. But then humans make mistakes all the time at
Absolutely.
the wheel. So that's yeah, that's kind of the point. So because of that, there's an expectation that you're gonna have AI and it's plug and play and it's the end all be all and it solves all your problems. In reality, just like when you hire a new employee, you kind of have to train it, right?
Absolutely.
At the beginning, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to make some mistakes. But the good thing is when you find a mistake and you fix it, it's never going to do it again.
I
And
like
that's
that.
not something you can do with a human.
I like that. Gee, can you come home to my kids? I want to integrate you into my children.
Yeah, it's not the same with humans, man.
So talk to me about, I want to understand this. I really want to understand the human element, because you guys say you're not just an AI, you're not just your speed to lead, but you also have this human in the loops type service. What is that? Like, can you explain that to me? Because it just seems like it's a little different than the other ones I look at.
100%. Yeah. And that actually, I just talked about the self-driving car. That actually where it came from. One of our founders worked on technology for self-driving cars and realized that a car shouldn't always just drive itself. There should be a human in the loop element in case the technology goes rogue. And
Okay.
so we did the same thing with the AI. Because at the end of the day, well, let's think about it. You're trusting AI with a very important job. Like, these are customers that are calling in, these are prospects, leads that you paid for your phone to ring, and now you're trusting them to book the job for you. So you don't want to use, like a little cheap technology. You want to use something that works really well. And if it fails, well, you want to have a human in the loop that can save the situation in that case.
Okay. So where does the human come in here? Just explain it to me.
Of course. So with Avoca, we built our own, you could call it a call center. We built our own human CSR team. It's about 70 people strong right now and growing. And but the important part is this is not.
So you guys have a course. Uh, you guys have an actual call center.
Yes, we have 7
Okay.
or so employees. The team is growing.
Where
They're
hired, where you guys
yeah, trained by
where are they out of?
there are some in America, some that are spread all over because it's 24/7 call center, English and Spanish, and soon we're adding other languages too.
The
So that's why it's spread all over. But the idea here is that there are the problem of answering every call. The problem it has been solved with humans. It's called the call center. There's a ton of companies that are trying to solve their problem with AI, but it seems like no one else has even thought about how do we solve the problem jointly with an integrated AI and human solution. And we spent the past 3 years figuring that out. And now we really have figured it out in a way where if the AI isn't cutting it for whatever reason, the human can seamlessly come in and book that job so that you don't lose that lead. And it can do that with the help of AI. The human is assisted. All of the answers are in front of that human on the other end. The customer is never put on hold. And at the end of the day, it's still the AI that does the booking. Like, when the call ends and the customer is happy because they spoke with the human and they got booked, the human doesn't actually go and do the booking. It's still the AI that, through the integration with Service Titan, is pushing the booking into the system.
Okay.
It's a
All right.
fully integrated solution.
So if it's going sideways, the human can jump in.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
how does
not
he?
just that. It's even, for example, if the call drops, sometimes that will happen. We can have our human team 24/7 call back and book the job. This happens, almost every day at this point, given the scale of Avoca.
You represent a lot of different contractors. You represent PE firms also. Give me somebody. Give me, and I ask everyone for this. Give me like a nightmare story where you had to jump in and you learned from it, and you're like, okay, we're gonna fix this, right? Because that's every business. I have them here. I have rip roofs off of people.
Yeah.
Like, just if it's all good, I say people are full of shit, right? Like,
Yeah,
building
of course.
businesses has hurdles you got to jump, right, to get
Mhm.
better and better. And then I want a few success stories of like, well, like, yeah, we had this impact on this business and this impact on this business. Can you give me
Specifically regarding the human.
Yeah, yeah, because
So-
I like the
Yeah.
human aspect, because I've never seen someone say to me, "I got a human aspect" before it.
Of course. Yeah. So the easiest example here would be AI. At the end of the day, has a lot of advantages. 24/7, never takes a sick day, but it also has its own limits. and that's why we have the human. So a horror story, right, might be you have a very big customer who is very upset because they had a very bad experience. They call in, and the phone rings for a couple of minutes, no one picks up. So then the AI picks up the phone, and now the customer is just yelling. It's basically just frustrated and is just yelling at the phone. And the AI is basically trying to jump in, but you get into that loop where the AI is trying to talk, and then the human, the
Keeps
customer
going.
talks, and it doesn't get anywhere. So at that point, you basically have a technology that for that specific use case is not the best fit. And so if you're using another AI service that doesn't have a human in the loop solution, there's no, you're just basically lost that lead, lost that customer maybe. But in our case, what would happen at that point is the technology will recognize that the AI isn't going to cut it, and it will transfer the call to a human. And so then the human can then handle the situation.
I mean, I guess here's a question for you, right? Because you're dealing with contractors, right? And you're handling their most important part, answering their phones. Right?
Exactly.
There's no more. I always tell everybody, like, answering your phone is step one. It's
Yes.
like having a baby. You better make sure it has a clean diaper and it's in crawl, right? Like, I mean, it's just like there's simple shit in life, right? Like, but most people don't pay attention to it, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta assume you hear my marketing sucks a lot before we get into this, right? Do you hear that my marketing sucks?
Yeah.
CSR, like, because how do you overcome that? Because you probably find out their marketing probably doesn't suck as bad as they thought once you put an AI agent on it versus their CSR.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this reminds me, I think it was a Panther. I was in a room with you, and you asked the people in the audience to raise their hand if they use Angie, or maybe it was someone else.
I always ask that because I think it's comical when they say they suck and they're
Exactly.
number one lead gen.
It's their number one lead gen. They say it sucks. And why do they say it sucks? Is because most of the time, it's because they're not doing their part, which is following up on their lead right away.
100%.
Would you agree with that?
I know that. Listen, people think I have a dog in the fight with Angie. Angie doesn't pay me anything. I get no discount for Angie, and I'm one of their biggest customers. And I hope everyone keeps saying Angie sucks. That's just more leads for my company. And what's worse than that, I had to repair the relationship between Angie and Dimitri because Dimitri and Angie got into a lawsuit or some hit piece. I don't even know the whole thing. I'm like, why am I responsible for fucking Dimitri? Like, he's his own grown man. I'm my own grown man. And we repaired that relationship. So, like, I really have no dog in the fight with Angie. Yeah, they've been great to us, and they've been a great partner.
And that's probably because you are good at following up with those leads.
We use AI, we use Hatch, we have CSOs. Does this look like a roofing company? I heard, does it look like a tech center? What does it look like to you?
This?
Yeah,
Not like a roofing company.
it doesn't look like a roofing company at all, does it?
No.
Right? You don't see a shingle anywhere, do you?
Right.
Do you see any tools anywhere?
Nope.
Like you see a bunch of monitors, a bunch of numbers, a bunch of right?
Exactly.
Like
Dashboards.
yeah, like you're not people. I try to say this to people all the time. You're not a roofing company. It's funny. We were just talking about how people lie about the size of their conferences. I'm not going to put this one conference on blast. I went down and spoke, and they told me there was going to be 500 people there. And I have an abundance mindset, so I'm always. But there's probably 50 people. Near what would you say? 50 people at audience.
1-0 short.
They were 1-0 short. Nearly smokes weed. That's where he comes up with this woody shit. I got to start smoking weed, right? But no, they were literally 1-0 short, like Weed Man said. And it's crazy to me. Like people don't realize like you're not a roofing company, an HVAC company, an electrical company. You're a sales organization. And when you understand you're a sales organization, like you're not an AI company. You're a sales organization that just happens to sell an AI tool.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like, do you think Google's a technology company?
They're not?
No, they're a sales organization.
They
make all their money from advertising.
Sure.
90%.
So
Like,
they're an ad company.
they're not a
So
company.
it's Meta.
And when you have to sell ads.
Exactly.
Like, people watch the fucking news and they're like, I saw it on the news. I'm like, you just watched a sales show for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you mean? I'm like, they get paid by the advertisers.
Exactly.
The advertisers control. Think about this, right? And I saw a piece and I went and fact checked it, right? During COVID, guess how many times during the height of COVID in the 18 months we had us all on lockdown, they had everyone, I'm not saying anything, I don't pick a political party, but on the three major networks, Fox, CNN, and what's the other one? I don't know, they're all bullshit shows. But anyway, long story short, Yeah. Guess how many times they came out and gave side effects of the COVID shots and said, this is detrimental, it can kill you. And they actually agreed it might be bad for you. Guess how many times?
Hit me. I have no idea.
Not even 5 times. You can't count them on a hand. Guess who their number one advertisers are on all those 3 channels?
What are they?
The pharmaceutical companies.
Makes sense?
I mean, so like you're a sales organization. When you understand that, it gets real easy just to sell your product and fulfill your pledge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what these guys don't understand. I mean, and that's where I think when you go to these conferences, which I appreciate you coming to my conference. You said you just went to a conference and it was half the numbers they told you.
Mhm.
And you probably still would have sponsored the conference if
Very
they would have
exact
told you.
Yeah.
And you said you were just disappointed by
You wanna be honest. Yeah, exactly. That's a huge thing. Is just set the right expectation. I mean, that's a huge thing in AI as well. I mean, it's an industry full of overpromising, to be honest.
Well, I almost bought an AI company, right?
Yes.
And we gave it back to them. And the
didn't know that.
reason why we found out, yeah, so me and Bill, Bill was heavy on it, wasn't he? Bill was fucking heavy on it.
Yeah, they kind of sold something different.
They sold us, because Nero with me all the time. And so finally I got playing with it, and it was really just Chat GPT on steroids. It was a Chat GPT training company. That's not AI.
Right.
That's a Chat GPT training company. And they're a big difference. There's a big difference. And obviously I have a tech background, so I know what AI is and how AI works. I understand there's a big difference between Chat GPT and your AI.
Exactly.
Now, the framework
That's why it's so hard
off
for
it.
contractors, right?
Huh?
That's why it's so hard for contractors to understand what is the difference between A and B when everybody's kind of promising the same thing.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? And this is what I say to everyone, Federico. Success leaves clues.
Exactly.
You ever hear me see, I always use the word, when you ever hear me sing, Jesus Christ, when you ever hear me speak, I always say monkey see, monkey do, right? I see success, I duplicate it, right? So all these people will ask for advice, and then they'll still not use the people that you're using. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Service Titan and Rilla, our technology of choice to helping us scale and grow our business and making sure all of our viewers have the technology to scale their business so when they want to sell it, they're able to. So like my thing is I built all my roofing companies off of Service Titan. I clearly am one of the largest roofing companies in the country, right? I own 7 different companies, going to do over 100 million all retail. Do you think Service Titan works for roofing?
It seems like it does for you.
It has to work, right? I can't do those kind of. How could I do the numbers without Service Titan?
Exactly.
Right? But yet somebody will argue with me that Service Titan sucks. Service Titan is clunky, or what's other dumb shit people say? It has this glitch. I'm like, you show me a piece of technology that doesn't have a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my Peloton this morning, right? My fat ass got on. I swear to God, my fat ass got on the Peloton. I've been on my Peloton a while. My sons are starting to do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to run the Peloton too, right? Hand to God, I was like, I got to watch Peloton at Disney and Netflix. So I got to watch something just so I can at least get to 1.5 miles. Right? I get back in shape, right? Or as my sons cruise by on 2 miles, like it's nothing, right? And the whole thing just shut down on me. Does that mean the Peloton's worthless? Or does that just mean there was a glitch that said the app had a reboot?
Yeah.
The app just had a reboot. But you're right. Contractors can't tell what's good, what's bad. And it's a shame. But what I say to every contractor and the majority of people that are here is just follow what successful people do and just take the same playbook. I'm going to give you an example, right? The one thing I like about the roofing conference is this. We have 80 sponsors or 85 sponsors. How many sponsors do we have? And we sold out, right? But guess what? Every single sponsor has done some type of business with LB Capital or Lance Bachmann or one of my associates or trusted.
Yes.
So we've turned down, how many people have we turned down? Probably 50 to 100 people. We could have way more sponsorships. And I'll show people the emails. There's no way this guy's turning down sponsorships, right? You don't need them. We don't need them. I'll show you the emails. Sorry, we've been sold out. How many sponsorships? How many conferences sell out their sponsors literally 3 months in advance?
You tell me.
None. They're still begging for it. Were you being begged for a sponsorship last week for a guy down in
Right.
none, right? So we sell out ours 3 months in advance because we only pick the partners we use. So it's real simple. Your product works. not everyone's going to use your product, right? Everyone listening to this show is not your customer. It's just not, even though you'd want them to
Correct.
be.
100%.
But I can tell you,
Just like not everybody is Service Titan's customer.
no doubt. But I can tell you this: you and Service Titan work,
Exactly.
and you guys have high impact on people's businesses. So like, it's not that I think it's different, right? Like, I truly believe for contractors, get out of your own fucking way and look at the guys that have done it. Stop listening to the bullshit people and just say, what are they using? And why not me? Why wouldn't it work for me? Right? It's right on my arm.
Yeah.
Like, you have 500 contractors plus on your platform, right?
Yes,
Could
exactly.
500 people really be wrong?
I mean, it's in the numbers, so you just have to look at it.
You know, that's my point with that. What are the KPIs that you see people losing money on the most? Like, when you're looking at it, like, what's the biggest KPIs you see?
People losing money. Yeah, if I'm looking at a contractor's dashboard, I'd say the first thing I'd look at is the answer rate. So if I'm seeing that they're answering less than 90% of calls, then that's a really big problem.
And that's the majority of contractors out there, by far.
Of course, yeah. I mean, especially with calls going to like overflow and after hours. After hours is another one. It's how are you treating after hours? Well, what is the percentage of calls that are coming after hours, and how are you treating those calls? If you're not answering 100% of those calls in some sort of way, that's a huge problem. And for the most part, people aren't. I would say also abandonment rate is a huge one.
Let's talk about abandonment rate. Do you think a lot of abandonment rate's spam?
Some of it certainly is, but not all of it.
No?
Of course. I mean, we work with customers who had up to 20 to even 30-minute hold times. Who's going to wait for 20, 30 minutes?
I mean, come on. Like, listen, if you're, there's two things. If you think your customers don't shop at night, you're high. Go look at your wife and watch how much she does at night. Now, I'm not being rude. Like, you're in the beginning stages of life, kid. Like, how old are you?
Almost 30.
Yeah, you're almost 30. You're going home to your girlfriend. You're chasing around the house. Life's fun. You're living in fucking la la land. Like, I remember when I was almost 30. Like, it's a different way of life during your Monday through Friday, Saturday nights. It's different. When you're old like me, right, and I'm coaching, right, my wife's preparing our dinner for my family, and she's doing all the things she has to do. She's doing her shopping, calling the plumber, talking to my buddy Vince, making sure our stuff's done. That's how most households work. That's the truth. So if you're not covering your phones at night,
yeah, if the message is going to voicemail, if it's going to a call center that you hate and that doesn't even represent your band or speak English well, all that stuff, we hear it all the time.
and then, the whole time, no one's waiting for anything in this world. I mean, I just found this stat out, which was mind-boggling. What do you think the average age of a homeowner is in America?
55?
What do you think, Neri? 42. 56. I was blown away. How'd you know that number?
I mean, it's really hard for young people to buy homes. Most people, there's an aging problem. I just guessed.
You guessed. Well, you guessed right, kid. I gotta hang out with you more. Who you like for Monday night's game? I mean, no, all joking aside, it's crazy to me. My wife told me that stat. My wife told me, because I was telling a story about me selling a phone book, and she's like, we were just talking about contractors and homeowners. She's like, yeah, the average home is 55, 56. Like, there's no at ChatGPT, it was 56. But that's going to age out. And sooner or later, you're going to be the homeowners. And you guys are not holding for people. My wife's not holding for
No, yeah, nobody's waiting for anything. Nobody's waiting for anything. Which actually is the other KPI, actually. That is the other KPI to look at, is how long does the phone ring before somebody picks up? And we're seeing that if it's more than 20 seconds, there is substantial drop. And if it's more than a minute, it's like 10% of the people will say. 90 will drop.
You're a numbers guy. I don't bullshit on this show. I like to get right down to brass tacks. What does your product cost on average contractor?
Man, I wish I could tell you. It really
Throw the
depends.
ball up in the air and just smack it out of the park. $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month.
It could be anywhere from that, from that range to a lot more, depending on what is the solution that you're using. Because Avoca at this point has become a true one-stop shop. So it's not just like a AI answering service tool that you plug into your tech stack and hope it works.
But once I booked the job, are you doing anything else after that?
Once we've booked a job, yeah, of course.
What?
Yeah, we follow the entire life cycle of that lead and customer. So we'll do
Okay, so
outbound.
get into that. You do outbound, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite features inside of Avoca is what we call the call board, which is basically this dashboard where you can see all of the different job types, the days of the week, the weather for the days of the week, the number of jobs that you want on each of these days, and then how many jobs you actually booked on
I
that.
want to see that call board. Let's get that up here and show it.
And
for
so
everybody. The call board. I want to see that call board up on the show. I want to see it myself.
what you do with that is you're actually able to see, it's color coded red, yellow, and green, and so you're able to see where your board is low, and then you're able to
Does
set
this
up
go right-
automatic outbound campaigns to fill the board on those days.
Does this go with integrate with Service Titan?
Yeah, yeah. It all of Avoca is integrated
But
with
the
Service
board
Titan.
itself.
It's in Avoca. It's in Avoca's dashboard. And then the beautiful thing, and this is by the way not live yet today, but the beautiful thing about this is that in the future, we're going to be able to look at those weather patterns, look at previous data from previous years to forecast what your demand will be like, and proactively set up automated outbound campaigns to always keep the board optimized.
Can I give you one better thing that you should try and do?
What is it?
Because now that you have all that data, try and integrate into people's Angie's, Home Advisors, and pay-per-click and get more leads for them. Email marketing and say, listen, you're going to go into a slow time here during this time for summer or
Of course.
the shoulder season. Hey, listen, you want to beat last year by 15%? These are what we're recommending to you. I don't know if you guys even thought about that.
Oh yeah, we're working on some stuff.
Just here, that's the
We're out
marketer.
there
in me.
building in New
Yep.
York, man.
That's the digital marketer in me, man. I'm just like, I want leads at all time. So do you guys think you might get into the lead game as far as digital marketing?
Yeah, with AI, you cannot do unsolicited calls to people who are not on your list or have not given you approval. So we would need to, we would partner out with people like Angie and things like that.
You know, here's a question for you. You guys do a lot of relationships. And you guys are growing. Why is the relationship with contractors so important to you guys?
I think it really stems from the core of what Avoca is all about. I mean, for me, I learned this lesson on, it was my first day. It was my first month on the job. I attended my first conference. I was sitting across the table from a contractor at dinner. Still remember it like it was last night. He said these words to me exactly. He said, every single day, my business gets 150 to 200 calls that go unanswered.
Ugh.
And that pisses me off. And what he said then, those words really stuck with me. He said, it's not just because it's money left on the table. It's because those are freezing families that I cannot help. And like that guy really, really gave a shit. And Avoca really, really gives a shit about our customers. So that's why we are, for example, a huge sponsor of your conference. We were title or main sponsors at Pantheon, Home Service Freedom, Nexstar, like all of these conferences, because we want to show up and meet the contractors where they are, actually meet them in person, build a relationship, hear their problems, figure out how we can help them, and truly transform their businesses. And we have so many of these stories that really power what we do.
You guys raised money, correct? You
Yes.
guys, how many series have you taken so far rounds?
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed.
Yeah.
But you guys have raised some serious capital.
We have some.
Who founded you guys?
Yeah. We have two founders, Tyson and a Perv. And
Where are they from?
they're both from here, from the US. They met at MIT. But their story is interesting because
MIT. There you go. Go figure, huh?
yeah, they actually led.
There you go. No offense, Tyson. What's the other guy, a perv?
Yeah.
Jesus Lord. No offense, guys. We were just talking about colleges the other day here, going into this whole thing about the network and where, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
for us.
I think they led the MIT AI lab, so no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Of course, right? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. There you go. But well, MIT, I have to put that on the list for my kids too.
That's a good
I
one.
always say Harvard or Yale or Duke. I'm always for the Ivies with my kids. I hope all my kids go to the Ivies and wrestle, if they want to wrestle. But I have my kids always go to the Ivies. But MIT would be up there. I'd be like, let's go to MIT.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. But I was gonna say that their story is really interesting because they both have immigrant parents, with very thick accents, and they put the kid to answer the phone basically throughout the childhood. And so they realized early on the importance of answering every call, answer it fast, treat every lead that calls in as a potential customer, as a VIP. And when they met at MIT and they, were AI, geniuses, they were like, wait a second, how can we use our skills and our story to add value to the world? And that's how they founded Avoca.
I love that. I mean, it's almost like art from Service Titan. And I lie. Both parents were contractors, one down out. Here's a question for you. What would you say to a roofing, HVAC, plumbing company that's doing 5, 10, 3 million, 20 million that isn't using AI at all in their business?
I mean, I would tell them what one of our early customers, Aaron Ruddick, said in a testimonial. He said, AI is here to stay, whether you like it or not. It is the future. And those of us who get on early are going to be much more, better off later down the road when it becomes like you have to be using it. The thing that I will say is going back to what we said earlier, there are a lot of solutions out there. Success does leave clues. And the big problem here is that when you implement software and it's not successful, you've wasted time and money potentially. But when you implement an AI agent solution, especially one that is so important as one that answers all your phone calls, and it's not successful, now you didn't just waste time, you didn't just waste money, but this can actively set you back. And so that's why it's so important to not go with the cheapest solution out there, but really go with like a proven solution, a trusted solution by some of, with some sort of like recommendations from large large entities who put a lot of money in the line.
Yeah, I mean, what's the most underrated metric in a call center, do you think?
The most underrated, I think it's speed to answer. I think that's the most underrated.
I agree with that. What's your favorite feature inside of Avoca?
I mean, by a long shot, it would be the human in the loop technology we have. So the ability for the human to take the call, but then they have to do all the work in the back end.
Finish this sentence for me. Contractors in 2026 will
Successful contractors, or
successful contractors in 2026 will finish this
they
sentence.
will not pass on the largest revolution humankind has ever witnessed, which is artificial intelligence.
Which you're saying will be the biggest money shift in America's history,
100%.
which I believe I see it already. I mean, I can tell you this, and I'm not in the AI world, but using the technology over the last 4 years in my life has given me more money, generational wealth for my family. I mean, just think about that.
Good for you. The goal, both your goal and our goal, is to make that happen for a lot more people out there.
100%.
And if I could add one thing there is that is exactly what we're seeing. We are seeing contractors who are able to build generational wealth scale companies to over $100 million in revenue, not in 3 generations, but in 3 to 5 years.
I did in less than I built all my companies I've sold besides one SEO and Shock were all sold in less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's not hard to do. I mean, listen, you don't need to build a company to $100 million to get generational wealth. You can build a company to 15. Generational wealth is a tricky is a tricky statement, right? If I give someone $20 million, right, and they clear $20 million, if they invest that correctly and buy real estate and live the life that they were just living, they will have generational wealth for their children. Maybe not grandchildren but them and their children should be set up properly
Right.
and have good lives, right?
100%.
If I give you 50 million, you really better not mess it up, idiot. 100 million, yes. I mean, well, 50 million, 100 million start to become generational wealth. And then anything above 100 million is generational wealth. I mean, unless you mess it up. The problem is this is when I use the word term generational wealth, and I do have that, is I'm worried about right now, me and my sons, my 4 sons, making sure they're set up properly. And then I have a 35-year-old son, believe it or not. So he's older than you, actually. And when he has children, I got to worry about that, making sure my grandchildren will be set up properly also. But yes, I mean, these contractors can do it. I mean, and once you get, and it's funny, someone said to me the other day on the phone, they were pitching me, they were like, Lance, most people only sell one business in their lifetime. I thought about that. I was like, that's probably true. No one let Chat GPT that. I'm just kind of curious. That was actually like, I wanted that. Let's just see that. How many businesses does the average business owner sell in their lifetime? Let's just say what ChatGPT says. I was just curious when they said it to me. In recent survey by Bjorn Wells, it's 1.7. 1.7. Now here's something for you. Exactly what I always say. Only 20% of all businesses that are listed or up for sale will ever be sold. So that's if you are able to sell a business, you'll get to 1.7. Only 20% of businesses ever listed will be sold, which makes sense if you think about it. But
And you obviously have built to sell it. Like that's the entire
that's my whole life.
right, for you. And I mean, we've seen that using an AI solution that is successful. So you have to have a successful deployment of your AI solution that exponentially increases both your ability to sell because it shows that you're investing in technology, and especially will increase your EBITDA multiple significantly.
Of course. Oh my God. Listen,
Here's one stat I like to bring up.
that's my man Neary coming Weed Man right there. Come on, Weed Man.
2024, it said 42% trade 0.4%.
So read that stat out loud again one more time, Neary, loud.
So in
42% of contractors have adopted some type of AI.
in 2023, late 2023, it was 1.4%.
Wow, 23, 1.4%. So it tells you
What do you think
where
will be in
people are going.
2026?
Yeah, we're going to be in 2026. If people want to get more information and get a hold of you, Federico, how do they get a hold of you, my friend?
The best way, obviously, you can go on our website, which is Avoca, AVOCA.ai. The best way would be to contact me directly, and luckily my email is very easy. It's just my first initial, F, like in Frank, at avoca.ai. And if you do that, I'll know that you came from Lens, and we can completely just shave off the setup fee if you're interested in starting with Avoca.
Okay, let's up and go, people.